Now, Gauteng is currently also bracing itself for a cold front that is set to make a landing in various parts of the province from this evening that could potentially see temperatures drop to -2 degrees, while some other parts of the country have already been battered by inclement weather since last week. And with the after effects of heavy wind, snowfall, as well as cold weather here in Gauteng, preparations are in full swing as the emergency teams put out all the necessary stops and measures in place in order to mitigate against any eventualities. So for this discussion, we do have Mr. Robert Mulaudzi from Joburg EMS, and he is the spokesperson in that regard. Robert, as always, thank you so much for joining us. So, of course, we are still on high alert at this stage. Tell us about what kind of preparedness as well as level of readiness your teams have in place ahead of this forecast inclement weather.
Good afternoon, Alicia, and afternoon to the viewers. Yes, we, as a City of Johannesburg Emergency Management Services, we have noted with concern the warning from South African Weather Service about these extremely cold temperatures, of which we know that when we have extremely cold temperatures like the ones we have now, our vulnerable communities will be our communities in our informal settlements. Hence, we have already dispatched our disaster management monitoring teams in most of our informal settlements to see if we might have any of our residents who might need our assistance in those areas. So far, we have not yet recorded any major incidents, not only in our informal settlements, but throughout the city of Johannesburg. So we will remain on high alert, monitoring all 7 regions of the city for any emergencies. We're still continuing to encourage our residents to make sure that as and when they're using heating devices, they need to make sure that they are not left unattended. Things like heaters, paraffin stoves, candles, and of course braziers or imbaula, to use it in a well-ventilated area, and be reminded to take it out of the room or a shack just before they go to bed, so that we can prevent incidents of inhalation of those toxic fumes which are coming from the brazier.
And Robert, maybe talk to us about some of the areas that have been raised as high-risk areas.
Yeah, in most of the areas in the city of Johannesburg, most of the areas which are mostly high risk will be our informal settlements, areas like Kliptown in Soweto, Deep Sloot, Kaya Sand, Alexander, and those will be mostly of the areas which we know that when we have extremely cold temperatures like this ones, residents will be tempted to use all sorts of heating devices which might make them vulnerable to these kind of fire incidents. So, but from our side, we have got all our fire stations fully operational. We've got all our specialized teams on high alert. We also have activated our disaster management officials who are dispatched in all 7 regions of the city. So from our side, we are ready for any emergencies which might occur. So we want to plead with our residents out there to continue to ensure that we prevent, major incidents which might occur due to these extremely cold temperatures.
And I mean, Robert, of course, the alert here in Johannesburg at this stage is just due to low temperatures. So it's going to be cold. So talk to us about some of the incidents that you expect to deal with as a direct result of the cold weather.
Yeah, most of the fire incidents which we normally expect are incidents which are mostly in our informal settlements, which are mostly caused by heating devices they're using. Some of the residents are still using paraffin stoves because of the nature of the shacks, which are the way they are built. They are closer to each other. So when you have a fire in one of the shacks, you are expecting to have like more shacks being affected by that fire because of the shacks are built next to each other. And also in our, formal residential areas, we know that our residents are using heaters, be it electrical or gas heaters. We have already attended to a number of incidents last night, even though we didn't have any injuries or loss of life where, flats and also a house was on fire due to unattended heating devices. So hence we're continuing to encourage our residents to ensure that all these heating devices are well looked after, while in use, so that we can prevent further fire incidents.
All right, and in closing, Robert, how long will your teams be on standby?
Yeah, we are told that we might still have extremely cold temperature throughout the week. So from our side, we are on high alert day and night. All our fire stations are fully operational. All our specialized team also are on high alert. So from our side, we will be on high alert throughout the week up until we are sure that the weather is clear now.
All right, Robert, thank you so much, as always, for that update. Mr. Robert Mulaudzi, the Johannesburg EMS spokesperson. I don't know if you noticed the trend that all, of course, our interviews this afternoon, all the people that we're interviewing were all sitting in their cars, meaning that our emergency personnel are moving to go and be on the lookout for any eventuality due to the inclement weather that is forecast in parts of the country.